Alright, what's going on, brothers and sisters? Let's get right on into this. Today we are here with what is a brutal black dragon comparison. I'll be going through one of the most AFK methods in game to go ahead and make money, and I'm coming at you guys with a max setup. Lately I've gotten a scythe drop, which allows me to now use this beautiful little twisted bow, and from here I'm going to go ahead and compare the twisted bow with the dragon hunter crossbow and the blowpipe. Anything else like armadillo crossbow and rune crossbow obviously are going to be below all of this, and just progressively go up in your best bow that you can afford at the time. Now, as far as the gear that I will be wearing, this will be it. This isn't going to be much of a guide, but I'll show you how to do it, I guess. I won't be going too in-depth. This is my gear setup. It's a lot better to have more accuracy. Jesus Christ. Wow. Anyways, Void isn't going to be what you want. Instead, here you're going to want to go for accuracy. With something like the T-bow, basically, Void will up my max hit by 4. However, my accuracy is about 20% less, so it's obviously going to be much better for me to wear something that increases accuracy, such as armadillo. This is a max gear setup, obviously downgrade wherever you need to, and I'll be using dragon arrows for part of the testing. However, I will compare other arrows as we go. So let's continue on. As far as how I'm going to go about teleporting, I'll be using a Xeric's talisman to get to the brutal black dragons and a teleport to house to bank and use my house to maneuver, I guess. As far as the teleport, I'll be using the third one to go to Xeric's Inferno if you've never been up here before. Basically, it's a short little run to the east and you will be in the brutal black dragon lair right over here. If you don't have the talisman, then you're going to have to either find your way up here and bank here, or you can just go ahead and get the talisman. At some point, you're going to have to get it done, so you may as well. But yeah, from there, I'll be praying magic and rigor, and I'll be using 2 prayer potions, or about a prayer pot and a half per inventory, along with an extended anti-fire dose and 2 ranging doses per inventory. So I pray mage, pray rigor, hop on down here, drink my extended, and yeah, it's as easy as that. What I'm going to do, now I'm going to go ahead and test how much I can get per hour here as far as GP goes, XP, and really just be deciding which is going to be the most efficient depending on what your setup is. So one of the factors that we need to answer before we can find out any of the rates is what the average loot per kill is. Now, luckily enough, Low Soul Gamers, aka Dave, did a video where he killed 1100 brutal black dragons, and from that we can find that the average loot per kill is about 30k per kill. So again, huge shout out to him for being able to supply this information. But now that we know that, let's get into the rates and profit per hour. So we will start with what is going to be the worst weapon of the ones that I'll be comparing, and that is the blowpipe. Now, the reason that the blowpipe isn't that great is because obviously its DPS is less than Dragon Hunter crossbow and the T-bow. On top of that, you do have the added cost of having to supply scales as well, so it's pretty costly compared to the rest. The overall drops that you can expect here per hour is 1.6 mil in drops. Remember, that's a 30k average as well. The XP per hour is about 60k range XP. Now, that is solely range XP. I don't factor in HP because I don't really think a lot of people care about it. And the cost per hour is about 620k, overall coming out to what is exactly a mil profit per hour with the blowpipe. Obviously not bad, but keep in mind this does factor in that you have max gear and 99 range. So obviously with this rate and the rest, they will scale down if you're lower level, but the overall message rings the same as far as comparing these items. Now moving on next to the Dragon Hunter crossbow. For this, I'll be comparing 2 different bolts. I'll be starting with the Diamond Bolts E and moving to the Diamond Dragon Bolts E. With the lesser of the bolts, basically per hour you can get about 1.8 mil in drops. The cost per hour is significantly less than the 620k from the blowpipe. Here it's only 315k. And the XP per hour is boosted about 10% higher than the blowpipe. All in all, the profit comes in about 1.45 mil per hour, so that's a good 450k over the blowpipe. Of course, this makes the Dragon Hunter crossbow much more favorable than the toxic blowpipe. However, when you consider that the Dragon Hunter crossbow is 117 mil, it is a little less accessible, but if you can, I'd recommend getting it. Also, a lot of the times people ask me if it's worth to buy stuff like this to do the money-making method. Unless there's a reason to think that the item's going to go down in the near future, you can always sell the item back and really you're not losing any money. So most of the time it makes sense to go with whatever item is going to do the best for you in your time there. So the next real comparison is comparing the Diamond Dragon Bolts E to the regular Diamond Bolts E. Now, as far as the drops per hour, this is obviously going to go up near about 2 mil per hour. But with that, the cost per hour does go up to about 645k, and your XP per hour does go up to 73k. All in all, the profit actually is down what is close to about 90k per hour. However, you're getting about 7k more range XP. So if you're here more for range XP than you are profit, then it makes sense to go with the Diamond Dragon Bolts E. However, if you care more about profit than you do XP, then you're going to want to go ahead with the Diamond Bolts E regular. Finally, we end off with the Twisted Bow, and this is obviously going to be what is the best weapon in here. I just wanted to know how good it actually is, and well, as you can see, the drops per hour here works out to about 2.3 mil, which is absolutely insane. You can average close to 77 kills per hour if you're going with absolutely max efficiency. The cost per hour isn't all that bad with Dragon Arrows because you don't use a ton of arrows an hour, so it's only 617k. Your XP per hour obviously increases significantly up to 85k, and the profit per hour also up again to 1.7 mil. Now keep in mind, if you're going to be AFKing this a little bit more, taking more damage, drinking more potions, not banking as quickly, there are a lot of factors that go into this, but it tops off at about 1.7 mil. Now that actually is what I initially thought. However, there is another thing here, and that's why I said earlier I will be comparing arrows because it needs to happen. Now the Dragon Arrows almost always seem to not be worth it for the most part unless you're doing like raids 2 or some really good bosses. For stuff like this, Amethyst Arrows usually are the meta, and here that shows as well. The drops per hour obviously goes down a little bit to 2.25 mil. 60k less per hour, but that's not bad. And then the cost per hour is where you make this money back, and overall here you only spend 270k per hour, so it's pretty easy. The XP per hour does go down 3k, however your profit per hour actually goes up 2.5 mils. Pardon, I misspoke. 250k. Even if you care about XP or profit, it's going to be worth it for you to go for profit unless you absolutely have no regard for money. Even me with the T-bow, I still will go with Amethyst Arrows because I don't care about that extra 3k, but ultimately that decision's on you. Oh, he left. And that is where we end off this video. As far as what we learned today, folks, we learned that Twisted Bow, obviously meta. Dragon Arrows, maybe not so much. So arrows do play a bigger factor than I think a lot of people think, and typically they just go for the best arrow. I'd advise against it, but, you know, that's just me. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. If you guys did, make sure to leave a like. If there's anything you want to tell me, anything you want me to compare, let me know down below in a comment. On top of that, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content, and make sure to hit up the clan chat, Smallexplamp, for what is a good time. So with that said, though, hopefully you guys do have a wonderful day, and peace.